Hey everybody, Blind Wave back. I'm Aaron.
I'm Anthony.
And today we are looking, oh my god, that's awesome! It's a green Power Ranger on a Game of Thrones!
Is that the best thing you've ever seen in my life?
Ah!
Oh. It should be made out of the flute daggers, but it should be made out of.
Ooh, yeah! The dragon dagger.
He's got one. He's holding it.
He's holding the dragon dagger. That'd be cool if it's actually like Jason David Frank.
I don't know. Anyway.
Well, I choose to believe it is.
Green Power Ranger sitting on the Game of Thrones. Anyway, I'm Aaron.
I'm Anthony.
And we're getting into some Star Wars Rebels. Anthony has not seen Rebels yet. Not at all.
I haven't seen any. I'm actually disappointed because I've watched literally everything else. I've watched
You've seen all of Clone Wars. You've seen the movies.
Of course, the movies. And
so
played the crap out of a few video games. So
yeah. Very true.
Read a lot of books, which don't actually matter right now. But
there's some that do. Depending on which ones you do.
I read Plagueis. I think that's still canon.
No.
That one's not? Oh.
No, Darth Plagueis is not.
Of course it's not. Because, of course, Jar Jar Binks is a Sith Lord, and that would ruin the whole thing.
There's a new Tarkin one that is. Yeah. I remember that.
Plagueis would ruin that whole entire idea.
Yeah, for sure. There's a Tarkin novel that's canon now.
I need to get that one.
Where you actually, I think you learn what Palpatine's first name is, which is kind of weird. It's odd. I forget the name now.
Sheev.
Yeah, Sheev. Anyway, Eric, Shane, and I have been doing Rebels. We're on season 2 right now. It's fun. We enjoy it. Let's see Anthony's thoughts for Rebels and all of season 1. So right now we're going to get into the Spark of the Rebellion, which was the movie pilot episode of Rebels. And all this stuff is still by Dave Filoni, which did Clone Wars, which I think you saw all of Clone Wars. You liked all of it, I thought, right?
Clone Wars.
Clone Wars
it was one of
awesome.
those. I'm wondering how it's going to play out because I know Clone Wars, like, first season seemed kind of childish. It was a lot of they did a lot of like corny jokes with the droids, and they did a lot of one-liners and stuff like that. So it immediately got amazing season 2 through 6. Like, it was great.
Like, it kind of matured more as it went through, you mean, kind of thing?
Yeah,
like, got darker themes and that kind of stuff?
It became to where I could... Either I lowered myself to liking it on a child level, or it brought itself up to where I could appreciate it on an adult level.
Maybe your inner child finally came out like, this is amazing, I love it.
Finally, it might have been what it was. I'm not sure what happened. All I know was I did enjoy the entire series. Especially the last season when they just tied everything together. Loved it.
Yep, it was good. Alright, so hopefully none of that happens with Rebels, because it is owned by Disney. I don't think they're going to be selling it off again. You know?
They've got money to just throw it out anyway, so it's not a big deal.
I'm excited to see what they do with Rebels, and if they start tying it in with any of the new movies that are going to be coming in soon. Like the new Han Solo prequel movie they're supposed to be doing. It'd be cool to see a young Han Solo appear on Rebels, because it takes place between episodes 3 and 4.
I'd be really curious to see who they cast for that role, too. It'd be great.
It'd be sweet. Alright, so let's watch Sparks of Rebellion. I love that theme. So is Eric. Little doo-doo-doo-doo.
Yeah, like just a subtle change on the original.
Ugnaught.
Hey, Mr. Asparagogan.
Move along, lost rat.
Sorry, not looking for trouble.
Looks like Aladdin.
Right?
Sure is a way to find you.
Street rat.
Hey, the kid's gotta eat.
That was very Aladdin-like.
Right?
He even looks like him. Where's his monkey?
Ugnaught.
Are you seeing Ugnaughts? I'm not even seeing Ugnaughts.
There's a little bald Ugnaught guy walking by.
Like the really ugly things from Tours?
Yeah, they had like little pig noses. They're terrorists!
Okay, racist. This character, obviously he's important.
Mm-hmm. He is.
Did you play Force Unleashed 1, the first one?
The first one? Yeah, I played the first one.
Do you remember the old Jedi, the guy who's blind, you fight in the space station then once, and then he...
Oh, General...
Ron Coda.
Yeah, General Coda.
Coda? Yeah, he looks a lot like him, like if he were younger.
Young Coda?
That's what I was thinking. But with this, his facial hair is face shape.
He's good shooting.
That was slick.
Better than the Stormtroopers, huh?
Chick in the bounty hunter armor was pretty forgiving for a Mandalorian.
Right?
You want to ride?
Huh.
Kid, you have a better option? Come on. Please not the right. I'll never make it.
It's quite floats.
Yeah, I like that. Remember Pulsar lifts on the bottom of the crate?
That's a big jump. With a crate.
This kid must be important or something.
Are you important, Aladdin?
The life of a street rat. Look at these Twilight Force being cute and snarky.
Yep.
Like Mission.
Mission, yeah. Good Fortuna.
Yeah.
Wait.
That chick's hair orange and purple.
Off of the bounty hunter?
It's pretty cool. She talked to Melanie about dyeing her hair that way.
Orange and purple?
Yeah.
Maybe if she leaves the jail.
She should probably get out of jail before she does her.
Hoover houses.
Lived on the phone my whole life.
Or
Never been here.
The Imperials don't advertise.
Shantytown.
Locals.
Palpatine houses.
Moff Tarkin.
Your intel was accurate. This time.
We got the goods and
Iago.
took a
So
bite
many
out of the
Aladdin
Empire.
references.
That's all that matters.
Izago.
This
Yeah.
But I love that you don't know that.
Look, he even has crackers.
Right?
That might have been Ugnaught, but all I saw was a short, bald guy. So I'm not sure.
I do hate the Ugnaughts. I hate listening to them talk.
They're like pig oinky, like, yeah.
Ugh.
Playing the Old Republic. You're just like,
Coruscant.
ah, skip it. I don't want to hear it.
I don't care what your mission is, just pay me.
It's like talking to a Gamorrean.
Yeah. What?
You might be worth something.
On the list of things you don't just leave laying around.
He had it hidden
I feel
away.
like both of those are pretty high on the list.
Hidden away in his bunk.
Oh, they got a...
Imperial transport
Yeah,
ship
little
full of Wookiee
chessboard thing. I
prisoners.
forget what it's
Most
called.
of these Wookiees were soldiers
I
for the
remember
Old Republic.
Sabak, but this is not Sabak. Sabak was the big
Card
game.
game, yeah.
Mine too.
That thing's not a Wookiee. Haven't you ever seen a rare hairless Wookiee before? Oh, forget it. They wouldn't buy it.
You didn't exactly give him a chance to buy it.
I like how Callus's helmet guards his chops.
Grab the, it's important to protect the beard.
It like comes down to right here and stops the same way his beard does.
In my motorcycle helmet comes to here, and then this all sticks out the bottom. So I need like a...
Like a beard guard.
I need like something to come down here and protect it too.
Run, no Wookiees are here.
Ooh, what was that?
Doing okay, kid? You kidding? Ah!
He's swimming.
It's like swimming through space.
Warn them, Ezra. What was I thinking?
Where did he have that?
Of course, the only thing I
In
made
his belt somehow, I don't know.
worthless piece.
The stupid worthless square Rubik's Cube. He's like the Hellraiser cube. Have you ever seen Hellraiser?
No.
There's a cube like that that releases demons.
Oh, sweet. I was kind of hoping maybe Darth Bane would pop out of it or something. It'd be like Bane's holocron or something.
Yeah.
Be some kind of dark Jedi holocron. Oh, that's cool.
Master Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh!
I regret to report that both our Jedi Order and the Republic have fallen, with the dark shadow of trust in the Force.
What?
No way!
Sorry when my uncle, the Emperor, finds out you're keeping me here against my will. I guarantee he'll make a personal
The Emperor.
Bye, guys.
I'm like, do we report this? We just sit in here for a while.
Someone of our least lower rank finds us.
Yeah. Maybe the guy who brings food will come in and let us out. Helmet.
How did they get aboard?
Sir, the rebels did free him.
Agent Callus, there's a security breach in the lower hangar.
You just don't admit that to your higher ups.
Right? At least Vader's not there.
Not alerting us sensible.
Exactly.
The rest converges orders. Every little bit helps.
There should be a few less stormtroopers this way.
Right.
Find Ezra.
Shit, they did come.
I'll be ready.
Like, I assumed they'd come, but I thought it might be longer than that. Like, you have to hide for a while.
Yeah.
Everyone's back aboard.
This time, you go first. Ghost, raise the ramp.
Zeb wasn't risking it again. Get on board now.
Yeah, over at Blue Thing, yeah.
I don't have parents.
He's alive.
And you've got Kessel?
Kessel. Really?
Setting course for Kessel.
But can they make the run in 12 parsecs? That's really the trick to this. They're not flying the Falcon. So the cool thing is somebody is flying the Falcon right now. It's just
Yeah, it's
not
somewhere,
Han
right?
Solo. Probably not even Lando. But it's out there.
It's
It's an
somewhere.
old ship.
I don't know how long it was that Lando lost it to Han.
Well, again, it doesn't matter now. But I have a book called Millennium Falcon, which goes through the entire history of the Millennium Falcon from off the production line up until way up in the future. It's a really cool book.
That's cool.
Do you remember the Jedi Kip Duron?
Kip.
KYP
in the
Duron.
future, right? He
It was in the EU. I'm sure.
was after episode 6, right?
I'm sure Eric knows who he is.
Luke trained him or something, didn't he?
Kip Duron, yeah. He did. He was after a while. He grew up in Kessel in the spice mines.
Oh, really? And Bane grew up in mines, didn't he? I forget where, but
Not Kessel, but yes, he did.
he grew up in some kind of mines.
He was like 20 years old before
He escaped.
figured out what he was.
Wookiees. The baby Wookiee.
Oh no, the pygmy Wookiee. Yeah, they should be scared. Right?
I swear he's not behind again. It's not my fault.
Won't be blamed for this
It's
again.
not gonna be me.
I feel like if they're supposed to be focusing him down, they could have animated him a lot better there. I'm honestly a little disappointed in that. He could have been doing some sweet shit right just now.
There were stormtroopers shooting at him.
We don't need to go into that discussion. Oh, nailed him. I can't tell if it's a mama or a
Mama
daddy
Wookiee or a
no,
daddy
no.
Wookiee. Actually, I'm trying to think of a time I've seen a female Wookiee. I'm sure I saw one in KOTOR at some point.
There was some in KOTOR, but
Holiday special.
I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't.
We need to do that.
We should do that.
This
It's
week.
a perfect time.
Oh, okay.
Try to stay on track.
You did well to call.
Ooh. Interesting. I wonder. Well, of course, I wonder who that is. I think I know who it is, but I don't. I obviously don't know.
So,
'Cause I don't know the books I read. I don't know how much of that they kept as canon.
what they've used of that. Now, there has been some stuff I've heard that like they've taken inspiration from books and put into different elements of stuff, and supposedly The Force Awakens has elements from books, but they're not using all stories and
Which
characters and stuff from the books, which
I
is
said that. Yeah.
some people are upset about. But on one side of the coin, it makes it more interesting because you don't know exactly what's going to happen. You know?
Yeah, if I've already read the book, I don't want to watch movies of books I've already read.
Yeah,
which
that's
is true.
That's the same thing with like the Marvel movies. Because
Yeah.
like a lot of people in the Marvel movies, like, well, that didn't happen in the book. You know, like
Yeah.
the Mandarin was the Mandarin, and you know, like they toss in little twists of things happening that are.
right.
You know, and then you don't know exactly. You have twists like I didn't see that coming.
And I read a lot of EU, the stuff that happened after Episode 6.
Mm-hmm.
And let's be real, things got pretty funky sometimes. They did some really weird things with the books, like because it wasn't the same person writing, it wasn't the same team writing, it was fans who were also great writers who were doing different things. So I get it, they're going to change things. Like I'm not too upset about that. So now it's kind of like diverging timelines. Like I have my books and I have my movies. And I like the idea of them keeping ideas. Like I'm glad that Bane was a real thing from the Clone Wars. He's canon.
He's in there.
And he created the rule too.
I wish
His
Revan
books
would
maybe
have
this
made it.
He almost did.
I know,
He
it would
really almost did, but and hell, for all we know, he still might. But
Now, one thing that's kind of funny within that is like the Shadows of the Empire. I think it's the Outlander or something like that is the ship that Dash Rendar flies.
yeah,
That ship is in the special edition of I think A New Hope. You see it leaving Mos Eisley. But yeah, so we don't know if Dash Rendar is actually canon or not. Same thing with Prince Caesar. He's never been.
right, and it was never actually determined. It was determined. I know that like I did read the book Shadows of the Empire. Have you read that?
I don't think I've ever read
It
the
was,
book now.
it was the book. I have that book. If you decide you want to take time to read it, it was pretty awesome. Yeah, it does parallel the movie or the video game, of course. You do have it was never really determined if Caesar died or not. Like, it was just assumed that he died.
Yeah.
Dash Rendar definitely did not. He showed up later.
Yeah.
He did come back.
Well, even in the game,
books.
you weren't sure what happened.
Yep.
But then if you played on a higher difficulty, he actually hit hyperspace, light speed or whatever, just before the explosion.
Yeah, as
so
an
he
extra
made it
thing to
out.
show
So
you.
I would love it if, like, Dash Rendar and some of the stuff actually kind of came, even if they were different, they didn't come through like the same way, but they did come through like somehow.
Right. So at the end of this, I don't know.
What's your thoughts on him?
I think it's Plagueis. I
Okay.
think that's what I would have thought. My first impression of him is that it's Darth Plagueis because he's reporting to him, and I know that. Well, I guess if I think about the book now, maybe that wouldn't make sense anymore. That would have been cool, but now that I'm thinking about the book, but again, that book's not canon, so that would be neat because I don't know what he actually looks like.
Mhm.
Yeah, overall that was interesting. So
Yeah.
maybe he's somebody else, and we just don't know who he is. But my
Mhm.
first thought was it looks like Darth Plagueis because I know he's a thing, but also putting the time frame. Roll a tube movie, maybe not because.
Yeah, because there is Palpatine out there, there is
and
Vader
Vader's
out
already
there.
out there. We know
So
that because
we
this
have-
is after episode 3, before episode 4. So.
Yes.
I don't know exactly when yet because it
So-
hasn't really specified that, but I do know that much.
I don't know if it's ever said in any of the episodes or anything, but Ezra was born on Empire Day. So, like, that would have been the same day that Leia and Luke was born.
Oh, that's interesting.
And I think he's like 15 years old or 14 years old or something along those lines.
Okay.
So you're getting kind of a time
really?
frame like that. So we're probably like 4 years or something like that before episode 4.
Right.
Something roughly along those lines.
I believe episode 4 happened when Luke was 18.
So you're somewhere along those lines. So.
I think it's 3 years.
Well, that's interesting. It doesn't give him a lot of time to fill in story, but that's still pretty cool.
But
That's kind of stuff that was happening in, like I mentioned, Force Unleashed earlier. That
Yeah.
was between episodes 3 and 4.
Yeah.
And the guy.
however,
looked
that
like,
was a lot closer towards episode 3, I think, wasn't it? Maybe
Right.
not, because Leia showed
Leia
up. Leia
shows
showed up,
up.
and I think she was like probably like 14 or so in that, wasn't she? Maybe 16.
I don't know. She was mature enough to
Yeah.
to be part of the rebellion. She was
Yeah,
important.
that's true. So with this here, there's been a few things that you've gotten out of it. You got to meet Ezra.
Yes, but he was really disappointed he didn't have a space monkey.
Like a little Abu.
He should have had a little.
He has Zeb. He has a big space monkey.
Well, yeah, he does.
But you
appreciate
keep
that.
saying that. I think it's
Street
funny.
rat.
I think it's
Street
funny.
rat.
Like if you get like him who's Aladdin and he meets up with a princess, that would have some fun little connections of like Disney Aladdin.
It
Here's a
is
street rat,
Disney now.
Here's a princess. That would be kind of funny.
Did a good job of making me forget that it was Disney. I
Right?
like that.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like they controlled it.
What'd you think of Agent Callus, the little villain kind of guy of the episode?
He had a good clean cut beard.
I figured you would like that.
Could have been.
Like it could have been bigger,
But
maybe filled
military
in.
codes, military
Yeah.
protocol. You have things to take care of.
I still just really like how his helmet comes down to where it covers his beard and then it stops. That's all it goes. I thought that was funny.
Yeah. Character-wise, he doesn't seem. He just seems like your typical Imperial officer. Nothing particularly special about him. Nothing particularly intriguing, I guess. Nothing. He doesn't seem too. He doesn't seem like he's like a Tarkin or nothing. He's not.
Yeah, he's just another kind of.
Yeah, just another dude wearing the uniform.
He's not as intriguing as the holocron, the holo guy that we had at the very end.
Oh.
The pale guy that he was talking to at the very end.
Yeah. That guy seemed he seemed to have a good personality. He was powerful. He had that eminence about him. Something about him was important.
One thing I've felt with watching this, I don't know if Shane and Eric do because they never watched it, but I really feel like this is Star Wars Firefly. Because all of it really pertains really to this crew
Space Cowboys.
and what they're doing. And you have Zeb, who's kind of like a Jane of the group. You have you have a Wash and Mao combo between Hera and Kanan. I feel, because Hera sometimes takes lead, but sometimes Kanan takes lead. But then you also have Sabine, who's kind of like a Zoe kind of person. I just feel kind of a Firefly-ish group out of these Star Wars characters, all on board the ship, doing tasks that they need to do.
They're about
they
the right
feel are
size.
right.
Yeah.
They need to get this for fuel or get this for credits and give this to this smuggler guy. But sometimes we want to do good guy stuff too. And
they're pirates with mean well.
so I've always kind of felt that with it, and I think it's kind of fun. Here's this crew, they're in space and they're doing this stuff. and we're gonna see what their journey takes them on between the Empire, the Rebellion, and the rest of the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, I can see that. I could definitely see that. I mean, they got the whole space cowboy thing going, which is what Firefly was. It was a space western. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just didn't have lightsabers.
It's too bad. But it's fine. I mean, maybe they would have stayed in the air if they would have. I don't know.
Right. I didn't really catch it until watching this episode, but the ship they fly is the Ghost. So, in case you didn't get that, it's not the no Falcon, no Outlander, or whatever it was from
Ebon Hawk.
Yeah, no Ebon Hawk. It's called the Ghost, and then they call everybody Spectre, Spectre 1, Spectre 2. And there's also there's a little ship. Like they have like a little ship that can kind of come off it. It's called the Phantom. So all of them are Ghosts, Phantom, Spectre.
The whole idea is to remain unseen but present.
Mm-hmm. So
that's cool.
I didn't really notice it until now. I was like, hey, Ghost, Phantom, Spectre, that's interesting. Did you catch Ezra's weapon?
Ezra's weapon was like a slingshot.
What's that?
Yeah, I was like, what? Did he just shoot? He blew some up with a green blob of energy or something. Yeah, it was like a slingshot thing.
It's kind of I've never seen it in anything else before. It's kind of like a slingshot on his wrist, but when it shoots, it's kind of a stun weapon thing. It doesn't really kill. However, he shot like a door thing, and that's what blew up somehow. Like it surged and blew up, and that's what knocked the stormtroopers.
I'm trying to think of like the Gungans had those blue balls.
The bombas.
Bombas. Oh, the bomba. What's a bomba?
Uses a bomba. Misa no have a bomba.
Ah.
Yeah, who's in this one?
And they had Geonosians.
Geonosians? Yeah, they had this weird kind of
similar looking things. Yeah.
They had some weird guns. But yeah, he has this neat, weird slingshot energy weapon. And it's like it's not like it'd be like a bow and arrow that shoots energy that you just pull and it shoots. You don't have to grab an arrow and like he doesn't have to grab a rock and shoot with his slingshot. He just pulls and it just shoots energy.
The Night Sisters had in Clone Wars.
They had bow and arrows with
Laser
energy.
bow and arrows.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yes, they
Clone
did.
Wars had laser bow and arrows. I don't remember that. So it's kind of derived with that, I guess, huh?
Well, I mean, at least they're being consistent. That's good.
Yeah, something.
As long as somebody else had something very similar.
The other thing that I really like at this is in Obi-Wan's speech on his holocron.
He brought up there will be a new hope.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool.
Like,
I caught on
last until
immediately.
a new hope arises or something along those lines. I like that.
I about flipped shit when with the holocron it was Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan's in that? What?
No, I still don't know. So far, it seems like it was just like a warning. It was just like basically what he would have put up at the Jedi Temple to set out at the end of Episode 3. Do not come to the temple. This is...
Yeah, because I think he did that in Episode 3, didn't he? They sent out a warning to keep the Jedi away.
Yeah, like,
and that might have been that warning they sent out.
And they recalibrated the distress signal to everybody come to help, to stay away. This is a trap. And Yoda's like, for many years, this will keep people away. That was the idea.
I believe the voice actor is the same one from Clone Wars. Because they sound very similar, too. I can't remember what his name is.
It could be somebody else, but it sounded pretty on par. But yeah, when he said A New Hope, I was really hoping it was a holocron, which maybe it was. Maybe that's all. Maybe we just don't know more about it yet. But a holocron, like the holocrons of ancient times would have been, to where you can learn from their consciousness.
Teachings and stuff on it.
You effectively have a Jedi's consciousness saved in the holocron. That would be maybe.
Yeah, because they had a lot of stuff in the Old Republic games and stuff too, where like it would pop up and you could talk to it, but it had certain parameters of how much it could tell you and what it knew.
Yeah.
Like the rest of the crew from the Ghost, did you like? Is there anyone that sticks out, or did you like anybody from that, or?
Well, I was saying, Hera. Is her name right?
Yeah,
Hera,
the pilot.
The green Twi'lek. First of all, Hera is one of Zeus's wives, isn't it? That's a.
It was like Hercules' stepmom, or something like that. I think is what they call it. But I believe it was, at least in some of the lores, in like the Disney lore, or whatever. I think Hera was just the wife, and she loved Hercules too.
Right, because Disney Hercules is not anything like real Greek mythology at all.
Yeah.
She seemed, like I said, I mentioned while we were watching it, she reminded me of, I feel like every time they make a Twilight character, it's just like it's a female, and she's cute, and she's snarky. They do that with all of them. They did that in KOTOR 1 and KOTOR 2, and then in the Tor, you, if you play the Sith warrior, you get the slave, and she's the same. and she's mouthy.
Yep.
Which is
And
actually
she's
the same
voiced by
voice actress in Mission in KOTOR 1. That was neat. The other guy, because a lot of characters for me to relate to. So, what was the race of the guy? The big guy?
Zeb.
Zeb.
He has that really long name that Harris said, but everyone calls him Zeb. He's a Lasat, and he's from the planet. I think it's Lasan. He's the last of that race.
So in the Trooper story, he reminds me of the Cathar you went around with. His personality did remind me of him, I thought.
Eric Jordan or something.
Eric Jordan.
Eric Jordan.
Yes.
Which was voiced by Carlton Lassiter from Psych.
Oh. Well, there you go.
So that was kind of
Zeb is actually based off the first version of Chewbacca.
Oh.
Ralph McQuarrie designed Chewbacca like this. So that look is the same thing.
Okay, and then they just gave it a new race name and everything.
Cool.
So it was based off an old Chewbacca design.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
The robot seems a bit more, he seems more mouthy than R2.
Chopper, yeah.
Chopper.
Eric, I think he said that in one of the newer episodes we did, but Chopper and R2, I think Dave Filoni said it, was R2's more of like a dog, while Chopper's more of like a cat.
Fair. And just from what I can tell, my dog's name's R2. So.
Yeah, his dog's name is R2, so now he needs to get a cat, name it Chopper.
Funny, because my parents' actual first dog's name was Chopper.
Oh, really?
Actually, yeah, it was. He was Jack Russell, too.
But no, Zeb is interesting. He's a Lasat. I think it's from planet Lasan, I think is what it was called. But he, apparently, like, his backstory, he's the last of that race, and the Empire, like, went through and hunted and killed all the Lasat.
That's interesting.
So, and then his staff
Not
he has, it's
surprising.
kind of like it's kind of like those droid from Grievous, those like electro staffs. It's some kind of Lasat weapon, the one that he has. It's a
Interesting.
kind of like Royal Guard weapon or something like that for the Lasat. So, he's a cool character. I like him too. He's the Chewbacca of the group.
They actually added a lot of depth to his character just in this episode. By he acted kind of like a hard ass, kind of like a dumbass, really, and then he was really remorseful when he screwed up and left that kid behind.
Yeah. Like I said, he kind of has, like, to me, I kind of feel a little Jane from Firefly from him. Like, he's kind of like the badass, hard ass of the group, but he still does have that softer side, like, especially when you get to know him, so. Then you got Sabine, the bounty hunter chick.
Right, yeah, she's interesting. I don't know yet if she's a true Mandalorian or if she just has the armor.
She's only, like, 17 years old. So she's not much older than that.
Except for with kids, which I guess that fits the Star Wars theme.
Yeah.
I liked her hair.
Yeah, her hair is interesting. I like her armor too. Her armor's interesting as well.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
she's a big tagger. Like, she likes to spray paint stuff. That's why she did that
really?
that rebel like symbol. Where she blew everything up. Like that's what she does. She'll tag. So all of her armor she painted herself and stuff.
Interesting.
So she's interesting in that sense.
Yeah, she'll be cool. She did seem, and then she was just as badass as Kanan was. So.
Yep, Kanan's a cool character. I like
cool.
his armor.
And I like how he just came out there at the end and finally. It makes sense to me considering the situation. He's got to hide who he is.
Yeah,
you don't want to just start using a lightsaber all the time. You become a very high priority target.
Once it's out there's a Jedi over here on this planet. We're gonna hunt him down and find him.
You have to so he's using the blaster. How he just like 4 shots and 4 stormtroopers down.
Yeah,
he's pretty sweet.
Now he is that character's voiced by Freddie Prinze Jr.
Really?
Yeah. Now, when I first heard that, I was kind of like, that's going to be kind of weird, but I think he does a pretty good job. I like
That's pretty cool.
I enjoy that, so.
Yeah.
But no, I enjoy his armor. I like the fact that he uses his blaster to hide and, not be standing out there as much, but there's times when he brings his saber out and has to deal with stuff,
When you have to, yeah. You got to do what you got to do.
I think it's interesting that it comes apart. Like, I've never seen a lightsaber really do that, Like
I'm not sure what the purpose behind it is. I guess to keep it from like getting stolen and activated without it.
Maybe make it smaller.
That's like the
so you can
emitter
hide
is
it.
the final part he pulled off the top. Like it's interesting he did that. But,
So, all right. Now, before we finish this off, there was like a scene that was, I think it was on the original like Disney. How was it, Eric? Do you remember? Like it was shown on like TV.
They premiered on Cartoon Network and then they premiered
Disney?
again on ABC.
They premiered on Disney and then premiered again
And
on
on the
ABC.
ABC version, they had an extra scene.
Okay. So, in the first premiere of it on Disney, they didn't have this.
Yeah.
But on ABC, when they showed it again, they had this extra scene. So we're gonna watch this, and this might give you a little bit more information on who some people are in the show. So let's watch this real quick.
Oh, there you go. That's classic.
The Jedi Knights are all but destroyed, and yet your task is not complete, Inquisitor. The Emperor has foreseen a new threat rising against him. The children of the Force. They must not become Jedi.
Yes, Lord Vader.
Hunt down this new enemy, and if they will not serve the Empire, eliminate them along with any surviving Jedi who betrayed them. This is my master's command.
And so it will be done.
Oh,
There
that
you
was
go.
it.
So he's called the Inquisitor.
He's the Inquisitor.
Yes. So, and
Okay.
then they mentioned that his job is to hunt down the children of the Force, which, if you remember in Clone Wars, there was, I think, maybe a story arc or at least an episode or two revolving around the kidnapping of young children who had a Force attribute, some kind of Force sensitivity.
Right.
And we never really saw what they were doing with those kids. They were just kind of kidnapping them and stuff. Palpatine was behind it.
Right.
So
yeah, okay.
it's
yeah.
kind of the same idea here, where like there's children of the Force that have that. They don't want them to become Jedi, so they're trying to find those kids.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah. They don't. Yeah. If they can keep them, it makes sense.
Yeah. So
Keep them under wraps.
that's his whole job, is taking care of Jedi, taking care of children of the Force. So he's kind of doing like, Darth Vader, I guess, could go out and do this stuff, but he probably has other stuff he needs to do. Or
Which I'm
maybe,
sure
like-
he did for a long time. That was
Yeah.
what he did. Like, I mean, that was what we have to keep bringing it back. Kind of the same era. The only other stories I know from this era, between episodes 3 and 4,
Mhm.
are
Like
Force Unleashed. And that was what the first episode of Force Unleashed 1, or the first
the
level
first
or
little
whatever.
section going through Kashyyyk, and
You were Vader, and you were just ripping things apart.
Yep. what do you think of Vader in this?
That seemed pretty good. I mean, the voice wasn't exactly right, but I mean, it seemed right. He was maybe a little bit more wordy than he usually, what I would expect from the movies. But it felt right. It felt fine. I didn't feel like it was forcing it. I liked it.
I mean, James Earl Jones is older, so he probably sounded a little different.
Did it really? That really was James Earl Jones.
He reprised his role in that. Now I don't
That's pretty cool.
know how much more they'll have of like Vader with James Earl Jones, because I think in some of the Clone Wars they had it voiced by some people. I think Samuel Jackson might have done a voice of Mace Windu at some point, but then they didn't have him do it later on, I think. So,
Sam Jackson and Christopher Lee did it for the movie, but they didn't.
but then
do
they
it for the
did
TV show.
okay. So like they were in the movie of the Clone Wars,
Oh, okay.
but then they didn't reprise it in the TV show and stuff. Which this one was on. Like they did have a DVD format of this episode and stuff. So, maybe in the real show, if Darth Vader shows up, it might be voiced, but it might not be. I don't know.
Right.
So James Earl Jones is, I'm pretty sure he voices Mufasa in the new Lion Guard that they have on Disney, which is like a TV show of like,
Oh, really?
it's a TV show of Simba's son becoming a Lion Guard that defends the Pride.
Really? I didn't
Yeah.
know that was even a show happening.
Which we
That's
were
pretty cool.
James Earl Jones shows up for like, I think maybe a minute in the first episode, less than that, talking to the kid. But Matthew Broderick is not the voice of Simba, and that's what puts me off. Is he just sounds so weird.
Yeah.
So,
Huh.
but
Because he would be much older in this, but yeah, like I felt pretty good about the way he sounded, but like I wasn't sure. It didn't sound exactly like what I expected. It wasn't like in A New Hope. It wasn't the same. But that makes sense. It's like 40 years ago, so
It's been a long time,
That totally makes sense. No, I'm actually excited to watch the rest of it.
Excited to see the rest?
That was good. Which I expected as much anyway, but
what's your thoughts on now seeing this versus like watching the first Clone Wars movie or whatever, or like the first season of Clone Wars, like kind of.
this was immediately more serious.
More serious.
They were like straight up actually killing people immediately, which I mean, not necessary to make something good, but it helps to bring seriousness to it.
Yeah, puts like stakes in there where like someone can die.
Yeah, they
that
were
kind of
shooting
stuff.
down TIE fighters. They were shooting stormtroopers right in the face, like, which makes me feel like they may do things in the future. Which I always love this in shows. I mean, I hate it because emotionally taxing.
Mhm.
But when you get attracted to a character and you become attached to a character, and then someone really important dies,
Oh yeah.
I'm hoping maybe that'll happen. That's, to me, that is a sign of a good show. And I hate to lose someone like that, but if a show can make me feel emotionally taxed, if they can make me feel and actually make me react,
You care about that character. It's like yeah,
and then
exactly.
take them away from me, and I care that they took it away,
Well, that's one
that's a
thing.
good sign of a show.
That's
to
what I
me.
love about Rebels right now. In Clone Wars, you weren't worried about Anakin, Obi-Wan, Padme, 3PO, R2. You know, the
They all come
clones.
through.
The clones you could worry about. You know, Ahsoka, the Padawan. Well, we've never seen her before. Does she die?
Brand new, yeah.
So like those ones you could worry about, but the main characters you can't. But these are people that we've never seen before in any other movies or any other shows.
Yeah.
So you know, Kanan could die, or Ezra could turn to the dark side, or 1,000 things could happen. You know, the
That's a good
ship
point,
could
because
blow up.
I have no idea what happened to Ahsoka. I watched the Clone Wars.
Mhm.
End of season 5. Gone.
Yeah, she left the
No
order.
clue what happened to her. She just left, which rightly so. They pissed her off. I would have left too. But yeah, so I have no idea what's going to happen with her.
So like, there's so many things like that could happen. Of like, you know, things coming in, people going out, people dying, people meeting other people, whatever. Like, there's so many things they could do with this because it's people that you've never seen or met. So I like that. In Clone Wars, like Anakin got in trouble. That's fine. It's Anakin. Same thing like you've been watching Arrow. You see him get in some kind of situation on the island. Well, I'm watching him now, 5 years in the future. I'm not worried about
That's
it.
a good point.
Like things like that occur. You're like, well, I don't care about the character because they're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
There's no
Exactly.
danger there.
Yeah.
This one, there's a sense of danger because any of those characters could die.
Yeah, they're all newbie stuff.
So, all right, guys, I think that's going to be it for this episode / movie for Spark of Rebellion for Star Wars Rebels with Anthony here. If you guys liked it, make sure you guys hit the like button down below. Also, Anthony, actually last year, got the holiday special of Star Wars.
At JediCon.
Yes, that JediCon. Now, I've never seen it. Anthony's never seen it. I don't know. Eric and Shane, maybe. I have no idea if they've seen it or not for sure. But I wouldn't mind doing a reaction of... I've heard
It's horrible.
I've heard it's not a
I
very
heard it's
good
like the
movie.
worst thing you could watch Star Wars related. But that's just going to make it better, actually.
Yeah, so if you guys are interested in that, make sure you leave down in the comments below. We might be doing a reaction to the holiday special of Star Wars here soon, so that might be fun. Other than that, make sure you guys are checking out blindwave.net for everything Blindwave coming out. And make sure you guys check out our support us page where there's our Patreon account. If you guys can check that out, every little bit helps. Help support us, keep us going. And we'll continue on with some more Star Wars Rebels as well. We've got almost, 1.5 seasons here that Anthony hasn't seen, so...
Yeah.
It'd be nice to get him caught up with us and enjoying season 2 of Rebels going on right now. So,
Cool.
Until next time, I'm Aaron,
I'm Anthony.
and we'll see you guys in the next video. Anthony, you can hit the button. Hey, you missed it. Too many beers.